We'll now move on to the elections for the treasurer of APPNA. We have two very respected candidates, Dr. Tayyab Rana and Dr. Humaira Qamar. As I mentioned previously, because we are going to go in an alphabetical order, we will be asking Dr. Humaira Qamar first for her 3 minutes of opening statements, and then Dr. Tayyab Rana. Following that, I'll start with the questioning or putting up the questions of the membership to Dr. Humaira Qamar. And she will have the one question with a 3-minute response, followed by a 1-minute response from Dr. Tayyab Rana. And then the second question, again, will come back to her. So there will only be 2 questions for the candidate of the position of treasurer, instead of the 3 that was for the president-elect. That is how the rules were set by the Nomination and Election Committee. And then at the end, they will have 2 minutes of closing statements in a reversible alphabetical order. So at the end, it'll be Dr. Tayyab Rana first with the closing statements, and then Dr. Humaira Qamar. So Assalamu alaikum, and thank you for coming to the election debate. My first question will be to my opening statement will be to Dr. Humaira Qamar. Please give us 3 minutes. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. My dear APPNA family, Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. My name is Humaira Qamar, and I humbly present myself to you as a candidate for APPNA Treasurer 2021. APPNA has been a part of my life for roughly 20 years. Through times of growth and stagnation, I've always squared my shoulders and simply gotten to work as a worker, leader, advocate, and activist. I believe, and still do, our mission of unity is more important than group politics. I am the founding president of Women Physicians of APPNA, past president of APPNA Florida chapter, past treasurer and member at large of my alumni Allama Iqbal, past co-chair of the Orlando APPNA summer meeting, founding member and executive director of APPNA PEDS. And what I'm most proud of, I was a part of the first APPNA medical mission to Bangladesh for Rohingya refugees, where $100,000 were raised from food and medicine and blankets and delivered in person by me and the first APPNA medical mission. I believe that the best predictor of a leader's performance in any organization is the record of service. My vision for APPNA as treasurer is one of transparency, accountability, and open communication. My action plan includes several tangible, concrete items I will implement, including, number 1, a monthly newsletter that I will personally write and distribute through our listserv, which will detail that month's status of APPNA's financial health. It will include information on deadlines for memberships, fees, and options for donations and charities. Number 2, on the last Sunday of every month, I will in person hold online video hours from 12 to 5 p.m. in which APPNA members can log in and ask me anything. Any questions they can ask me or share any concerns that they may have. As a treasurer, I will prioritize these open lines of communications. Communicate to me, and I know to most members, communication is the key. I will also spearhead an online store for APPNA and non-APPNA members in which APPNA memorabilia and Pakistani products will be sold, which will generate revenue for APPNA and also for the Pakistani businesses in Pakistan, which we will sell their products here and hence help our home country. I've proven myself to the readership as an honest, hardworking, motivated, independent doc who has always placed APPNA first. I worked hard in making my way up from a member to a lifetime member to all of the above. I've patiently observed and worked closely with the leaders and foot soldiers of the APPNA, past and present, to learn the ropes and hence readied myself to be a member of the EC to make tough and much needed decisions for institution buildings.
Thank you, Dr.
And lastly, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank the NEC. I remember our first years in this nation, those late nights and that yearning for stability as we found a new home.
3 minutes are up.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Dr. Tayyab Rana, please give 3 minutes of your opening statement.
Thank you, Saima. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum to all my fellow APPNA colleagues, family, and friends. And thank you right away to the Nomination and Election Committee for allowing us to have this debate today and put forward our thoughts. So we've heard a lot from our presidential candidates, and now it's our turn. Our role for the Treasurer's Office is probably one of the most vital roles of any organization. The Treasury is the lifeblood of the organization, and if it's handled well, we don't end up where we are today. It is absolutely vital that going forward, whoever handles the Treasury in the next year and beyond handles it in a truthful, honest, open, and transparent way. So why should you vote for me? First of all, I bring a fresh breath of fresh air to the organization. I'm a North American graduate. So some people say, okay, so what? Well, here's so what. By bringing a North American graduate, you bring a breath of fresh air into the organization and a new culture. Culture is very important for any corporation or organization, whether it's a profit or nonprofit organization. And there's things about being from the American culture that are wonderful about the society that we all appreciate. There's obedience of the law. There's respect. There's gratitude in times of success and in times of failure. And most importantly, there's the upliftment of those who are marginalized, as that's what this country is great for. If I'm elected, my role will be to empower and engage all of those talented individuals in this organization, whether they come from large alumni or small alumni, and keep very transparent relationships with the membership. Second, I have a formal business background training from one of the world's top schools of management. One of the most important subjects you learn in business school is leadership. It's not about reading a financial statement. It's not about marketing. It's about learning how to drive teams, learning how to work together, learning how to respect. If you can't do that, you cannot be a leader, and you'll never graduate from business school. But along with that comes conflict management and resolution, comes branding, and many other things such as creative thinking, which is needed going forward. Finally, it's my character and dedication. I have been involved in APPNA for many years, both at the central and chapter level. Most recently, in the last several years, I served as treasurer, secretary, and president of APPNA DMV. In historically one of the most successful times of the chapter. I helped uplift it from almost nothing in terms of financial stability to today being a very viable and vibrant chapter. And recently, I'm very proud of the fact that I served as COVID-19 chair, where we raised about $250,000 in just in the last few days, $40,000 to help Karachi in its devastation. And I wish to carry this forward in the central organization. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tayyib Rana. Appreciate it. We'll now move on to the Q&A session. And I'll start off my questions with Dr. Humaira Qamar. And Dr. Humaira Qamar, you will have 3 minutes to respond to the question. The question is, what will be your plan to make APPNA financially viable? And please elaborate with some practical and concrete steps. Thank you. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you, Saima. So I know there has been much focus on recent year 2019 and of course 2020 with the COVID situation on the financial situation of APPNA, the dire straits we find ourselves because of the number one, the COVID, number two, the infighting and the ongoing litigations which have transpired unfortunately in the last few years. So this has brought a lot of attention and focus, and rightly so, on the finances of APPNA. And everybody is concerned, you know, we are all concerned, we all love APPNA. So the best way to make any organization financially viable is, number one, to make everything transparent. So when you have a transparent system of communication with your membership, you tell people, okay, this is how much we are collecting, this is what we're going to be doing, this is how your money is spent, then people feel comfortable contributing. They feel vested in an organization. That's what's been lost recently in APPNA, is this sense of ownership by the membership. And that has led to APPNA not only losing meeting revenue, but also a lot of donations that used to come in have been lost because of that. And I'll be very honest regarding that. I know that people talked about $1 million raised for COVID, but that was a cause. You know, people, we all came together, we were all gung-ho, we all need to help APPNA, we all need to help our home country, Pakistan. So that was awesome. But going forward, the best way to make do with the financial health of an organization of APPNA would be to, number one, improve transparency, improve accountability, and let people know where their money is going. Once that happens, once you resolve these issues, then more people become members. Remember, an important part of revenue collection for our organization traditionally has been memberships. number one. Number two, we need to be more serious. If we want to include more APPNA members and hence increase our revenue in that way, is to lower the lifetime membership dues of the organization, which has so far reduced it to like a few people who are at the very top of their careers who can afford to do that. And even that has come to a halt because of the loss of trust. So when you increase the trust of the organization, when you make it easy for people to understand how the organization is run, when they know that their hard-earned money will not be used on frivolous lawsuits or used for certain people's egos and stuff, yeah, they will trust APPNA again. They will come forward. They will invest in APPNA. And then all the esteemed presidential candidates said that yes, we need to all of us work, regardless of who gets elected. We all need to work to improve the financial status of APPNA by improving the trust, by decreasing the lifetime membership, by making things more accessible for patients, to our members, and also making sure that they understand where the money is going. So this is one of the main things going forward I come from. And I just mentioned in my opening statement about increasing the revenue of APPNA by doing the online shops and sending memorabilia, increasing the fundraising, of course. These are the avenues I'm looking at. Thank you.
Dr. Mehra, thank you very much. Dr. Tayyab Rana, I will restate the question to you. What will be your plan to make APPNA financially viable? Please elaborate with practical and concrete steps. 1 minute, please.
Yes, thank you, Simon. That's a very, very important question, obviously, facing the organization today. Transparency is very good. Obviously, we need transparency for trust, confidence building, success. But that's not going to generate revenue. What's going to generate revenue is better programs, novel ideas on how to bring in revenue streams. So for example, provide very high quality CME, much higher than we've ever done before. We have an amazing talent pool of physicians, researchers in this organization, and there's no reason that we can't provide CME being done through virtual programs, through other organizations in this country. We can provide the same level, and we can provide it better, and that raises revenue for us. Specifically, we can get into programs that are needed for licensure, for example, opioid addiction programs, infection control, so on and so forth, you have to take these programs in order to get through to your license. Why not do it through APPNA? Then, as previous candidates in years have mentioned, programs such as the APPNA TV, that's also very, very important and a novel idea that I would wholeheartedly support.
Thank you, Dr. Tayyab Rana.
Yeah.
Your 1 minute is up. I appreciate it. Well, you can continue with these answers as we move on to the next questions too. So the next question goes to Dr. Tayyab Rana, and this is going to be 3 minutes response. And then after that, again, will be restated to Dr. Humera Qamar, who will give 1 minute response. The question is, do you feel that North American medical graduates of Pakistani descent are an important constituency for the future of APPNA, and how will you engage them in APPNA?
Well, absolutely, they're an important constituency. Right now, they're a marginalized constituency. They haven't been given a seat at the table the way they should have been many years ago. But anyway, the time is now to do it, and I think we should do it. And the reason is the following, that North American graduates, first of all, represent a higher and higher cohort of graduates that represent Pakistani origin. Pakistani physicians from Pakistan are decreasing as years go by. We have less and less graduates able to come to the United States, less and less graduates getting into residency program. And of those that do, and I'm so happy that we were able to get 200 of them here this year, but how many of them are going to become members? So by having North American graduates, attracting them to the organization to become members by providing programs that they're attracted to. North American graduates are not interested in much as entertainment and food from certain restaurants. What they're interested is in doing social work and philanthropy and achieving excellence in research and medical education. That's what they're interested in. And if they see APPNA as that kind of organization, which they did see in the DMV chapter this year, they got attracted. We brought in 20 new APPNA North American graduates this year into our chapter. And we can do that for our central chapter going forward, which is vital, by bringing members from Canada, from United States, from the Caribbean, to add great enhancement to this organization. It's vital to the organization. If APPNA does not do this, which it has been talking about for 10 years now, this organization cannot survive. It's in a state of absolute self-suicide. So the other thing that APPNA North American graduates bring is networking. Networks into other organizations, novel ideas that haven't been brought forth before in terms of leadership and programming. This is all very important. This is what's going to make APPNA dynamic going forward. There's no choice in the matter that North American graduates have to have a seat at the governing table. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was 2 minutes. Dr. Humaira Qamar, you have 1 minute, and I will restate the question. Do you feel that North American medical school graduates of Pakistani descent are an important constituency for the future of APPNA, and how will you engage them in APPNA? 1 minute, please.
Thank you, Saima. So absolutely, there's no question that North American graduates are an important part of our organization. They have always been and they will always be. And, like Tayyab said, but I'm, a little bit put off by his statement that Pakistani graduates are going to be coming in and less, and hence they are somehow not as important as North American graduates. That is a completely wrong take on the matter. It should not be about who's more important, than Pakistani graduates coming from Pakistan or the North American graduates. No. They are both equally important, and we need to give them both a place on the table. And, to say that Pakistani graduates who come are only interested in food and ethnic food and clothes, and the American graduates are like the real thing and they're more interested in networking is wrong. Once you all get to a certain level of success in our lives, it is true that when we come from Pakistan, we have to work much harder, and that prepares actually better for us to be, doing things for APPNA, not less.
Thank you so much, Dr. Humaira Qamar. Appreciate your answer. The next question now goes to Dr. Humaira Qamar. As a treasurer, how do you see yourself improving the accuracy and transparency of account management? And should an elected treasurer be mandated to take a certification course of account management for a nonprofit organization? 3 minutes, please.
Thank you, Saima. So basically, yes, absolutely. There's no question that knowledge is the key, and we all know that. We are very successful physicians in our life. But we have to take CMEs every year. We have to learn new material. We have to get to know our patients, the new patient guidelines and stuff. So learning new stuff is good. Absolutely, I agree with that concept. Yes, we can all volunteer. Again, it's a volunteer organization. Making things mandatory is not a good idea. But they should be encouraged, recommended that people who run for office, they should take these courses. And I'll be happy to do that. I'm interested in learning about accounting, but that should not be the only criteria for electing people. Once you elect people, then if they're interested in increasing their knowledge, let them do it. Number one. Number two, somebody was, I know one of the questions was talking about, and Dr. Rana was talking about how he has done an MBA and somehow that makes him a better treasurer than me. I could have done an MBA anytime in my life. That is not the point. MBA is classroom learning. You can go to a classroom, you can sit, most of you, and I know Saima, you have done an executive MBA. So you can sit in a classroom and do your MBA, but that does not somehow make you better in running APPNA or as a treasurer. It does not. I need to negate this point very strongly, because I feel like the thing that's will make somebody more successful in running APPNA as a treasurer will be experience. There is no other way around it. The more experience, because APPNA is a very unique ethnocentric organization. It's not a non-for-profit or NGO or whatever else you want to call it. It's a very unique, it has unique history. It has unique relationships between the alumni and the chapters and stuff like that. And you need experience to learn the basics, learn the culture of APPNA, learn the landscape of APPNA, which I have done. I've been involved in APPNA. I already told you guys, and I know I'll keep saying it over and over again. I have been involved in APPNA for 20 years. There is no substitute for experience. And I have the required experience and the required knowledge. I know exactly how to deal with financial matters relating to how people are asking for money, what's going on, how's the fundraising done, how moving forward, what needs to be done to make APPNA more financially viable. As far as offering free CMEs is concerned, that's not a good idea. I mean, we all get free CMEs. I'm sorry, not free CMEs, or selling CMEs through APPNA is concerned. It's not a good idea. We all get free CMEs through our organizations. So that's not going to be a big money maker for anybody. But for me, knowledge is the key. Knowledge is most important. I'm happy to acquire any knowledge. I've committed myself. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to stay. I'm here to serve APPNA. I'm here to serve organization. Whatever needs to be done, I will do.
Thank you so much, Humaira. Appreciate your answer. Dr. Tayyab Rana, I will restate the question. As a treasurer, how do you see yourself improving the accuracy and transparency of account management in APPNA? And should an elected treasurer be mandated to take a certification course of account management of nonprofit organizations? 1 minute, please.
Yeah, I absolutely do think that it should be mandated. It does not have to be an MBA by any means, but there should be education is the key to how you do things better. And if you have never had any formal education on how to run the finances of an organization, be it a small medical practice or be it a large non-for-profit organization, you have no fundamentals on which you're running that. You're just taking a shotgun approach. And when it comes to experience and learning the so-called unique qualities of APPNA and the culture of APPNA, maybe it's time we unlearn the culture of APPNA. Maybe the whole problem is that we've just let this so-called unique culture of APPNA run a gamut everywhere and make the mess that it's in. And it's time to bring a very disciplined, educated, principled approach to this organization that is based on very, very solid foundations. To just go randomly and say that I've served in this committee or I've served in 20 committees and that somehow makes you successful. I mean, I've run several organizations, served on the boards of educational organizations, interfaith organizations, and advocacy. So is that time out?
Yes, thank you so much.
Sorry about that.
Yes. All right, no problem. Thank you. All right, the next question would be to Dr. Tayyab Rana for 3-minute response and then a 1-minute response to Dr. Humaira Qamar. The question is, how do you distinguish yourself from other candidates in the election? 3 minutes, please.
Well, I think I've touched upon that already, and I'm glad you're asking that question because I want to clarify something that my opponent said, Humaira. So I'm a North American candidate. I'm a North American graduate. That brings something different to the table that hasn't been here since the inception of the organization. So I never said that North American graduates are somehow more refined or more unique in their taste of what is important to a functioning organization. No, Pakistani graduates, who I happen to be the son of a King Edward medical graduate, are very, very vital to this organization. They're the pioneers of this organization. They started this organization. But we know that it's a fact that the numbers of Pakistani graduates coming to the United States and getting residencies and then joining APPNA is dwindling. And of those that are here, not too many join. So maybe there's a fresh perspective that's needed to attract these candidates or these graduates to the organization itself. Maybe we need to engage further with the young physicians and have programs that are more attractive to them. So we mentioned the CME, how Humaira doesn't think it's a good deal. I think it's a very good opportunity to make revenue. But for these young candidates, as Rizwan Khalid himself brought up last year, board review courses. We spend thousands of dollars on board review courses. By having board review courses, not only do we generate some revenue, which these people are going to have to spend anyway, but we make them attracted to our organization. And by doing programs that are more attractive to a younger generation, we're going to attract not just North American graduates, we're going to attract those Pakistani graduates that we are not bringing into our corral year after year after year. So this is the freshness that a young or North American graduate brings to the organization, something different that has not been brought here before. We can't keep going through the same cycle of culture that my opponent says exists in this organization. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tayyab Rana. Dr. Humaira Qamar, you have 1 minute and I will restate the question. How do you distinguish yourself from other candidates in this election? 1 minute, please.
So thank you, Sama, and thank you, Tayyab, for talking about these differences, bringing these differences in sharp focus. One of the main things, again, I'm going to emphasize is experience. There is no substitute for experience, and my opponent is rightly pointed out that he is not experienced. He is a fresh graduate. I don't know when he graduated, but he's worked for his chapter. That's it. I worked for my chapter. I was the president, secretary, treasurer of Allama Iqbal. Of Florida chapter. I was the treasurer of Allama Iqbal. I started Women Physicians of APPNA. I was the founding president, secretary, and treasurer of APPNA. I just mentioned, I was most proud of collecting $100,000 of private fundraising, taking that money to Bangladesh, buying medical supplies, delivering them, seeing patients, 500 patients a week. So this is what distinguishes me: experience, 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 will to give back to my organization.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the 1 minute. We asked both the questions to the treasurer candidates, and now what we'll do is have closing statements, and this will again be a 2-minute closing statement. This will be done in a reverse alphabetical order. So I will start with Dr. Tayyib Rana. Dr. Tayyib Rana, can you please give 2 minutes of your closing statements for the position of treasurer of APPNA for the year 2021? Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Saima. I want to thank once again the Nomination Election Committee and the membership for taking the time to be here today and allowing us to speak in front of you. First of all, we should be very grateful that we're sitting here in this debate and that we have an organization that we can call our own. It's something that we should be very proud of. I'm a firm believer in institutions in our community. I've written on that in my campaign material, that institutions are vital to the survival of our community. I grew up in APPNA. Coming to the APPNA meetings played a big role in sort of inculcating a love for Pakistan and Pakistani culture, in addition to the love that I had for my country, the United States. So it's very, very important that we work hard and strive hard for this organization to survive. APPNA, its membership, its alumni represent over 75 states and territories across the world. And that's an amazing diversity. We should engage and empower that diversity. And if we use the principles of excellent leadership, we can spawn even better projects and ideas going forward by bringing all these marginalized groups to the table that have never gotten the opportunity. When you create value for members, when you show results through hard work and dedication, when your community and country benefit from you and are proud of you, then you have exponential success going forward. And that, my dear colleagues and friends, is what I would like to inspire in all of us if you give me the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was 1.5 minutes. Dr. Humaira Qamar, please give us 2 minutes of your closing remarks.
My dear APPNA family, APPNA is going through an existential crisis right now. Clash of various interests and ethnic groups, individual egos, and othering of members who are not your friends has led to animosity and bitterness, resulting in expensive court battles. This alarming state of affairs has weakened our beloved organization. A huge chasm of mistrust and miscommunication has developed between the general membership and the leadership. In these dire circumstances, I volunteer to work in the EC selflessly to bridge this chasm with honesty, integrity, perseverance, hard work, and complete transparency. I promise to be accessible and accountable to all members, not just the ones who vote for me, but also for the ones who don't vote for me. I will be the leader of all, irrespective of their alumni associations. I promise to not bow to any pressure group within and outside of APPNA. I'm volunteering myself to build, not divide, serve, not take. I will fulfill my duty as APPNA treasurer to further the financial health of APPNA by creating new revenue streams and bringing transparency so that all members can examine our finances. I will use my vote in EC very responsibly and will always vote for APPNA as an institution and for all its members. My greatest strength lies in my experience, knowledge, and understanding of APPNA, its complex network of component and auxiliary societies and alumni groups and how they all work together. This is a result of my cumulative experience of 20 years on the job. I'm fighting for the soul of APPNA. Will you help me? Pakistan Zindabad. God bless America.
Thank you very much. That was a wonderful debate by all the candidates, and it's a very difficult thing to come online and do this on video because it's tough to figure out what the body language is and what the audience is doing and what they're saying. And in some ways it's advantageous too, because we have had some interesting audiences in the past when we've done it in person. So overall, I think it's a good experience, and I hope everybody did okay with it. Thank you very much. And I really appreciate the honor of being able to host this and moderate this.